Our topic is velocity time graph. But see here, when we draw any graph on the y-axis, we are taking velocity. Over the x-axis, we are time. And this is the graph. Can you tell me what is the slope of the graph? Can you tell me what is the slope of the graph? But see here, this is angle theta. If you draw, yes, once again, all of you see here, beta.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just mute yourself and concentrate here. We are discussing about velocity time graph. Our today's topic is velocity time graph. Now you see here, beta, if the graph is like this and this is a straight line, this is a straight line. Just see here, what do we mean by the slope of the graph? Slope. This is the slope. What is the slope? If you draw perpendicular, you make right angle triangle. Then this is perpendicular and this is base. This is the ratio of perpendicular by base of the right angle triangle. This is the ratio of perpendicular by base of right angle triangle formed by the graph. Once again, see, all of you, beta, along y-axis, which physical quantity we have taken? Velocity. Over the x-axis, which physical quantity we have taken? Time.
Time.
And this graph. The graph is uniform because this is a straight line with a definite angle. So we can say that slope is constant. Now what is slope?
तो ये एंगल कितना डिग्री का है?
Perpendicular upon base. This is the right angle triangle. This is the graph.
Yes,
we draw dotted line. This right angle triangle forms. What is the length of this one? This length, you draw perpendicular here, you come here. What is the
dotted line.
velocity? U. And what is the final velocity? V. Once again, you see here, if the graph is like this, here is time axis at time 0. There is a certain initial velocity, that is U. What is the initial velocity? The initial velocity is U. It means here we are not taken the initial velocity V0, we have taken certain velocity U. And at time 0, what is the initial velocity U? And after certain time interval T, the velocity of the body becomes final velocity, that is velocity at a particular instant of time T. What is final velocity? The velocity of the body at a particular instant of time, that is called final velocity. What is initial velocity? The velocity of the body 0 second. Now see a slope is perpendicular. Draw right angle triangle. This is perpendicular and this is base. P by B. What is perpendicular? The velocity changes from U to V. So we call this as change in velocity. Change in velocity. Upon the velocity change takes place from U to V. When the time was 0, velocity is U. When the time reaches to T, the velocity becomes V. So what is the time interval? Upon time interval. So change in velocity upon time interval, you know this slope is called acceleration. So over here, over the y-axis, what physical quantity is there? Velocity. Over the x-axis, what physical quantity is there? Time.
Time.
So beta slope means change in physical quantity along y-axis upon change in physical quantity along x-axis. You write here slope is equal to change in physical quantity along y-axis upon change in physical quantity upon x-axis. This is called slope. Note down beta all of you. Just remember what is slope of the graph? What do you mean by the slope of the graph? Change in physical quantity along the y-axis upon change in physical quantity along the x-axis. Now, if this graph is velocity, yes, beta. Because here, this graph is between velocity and time. Along the y-axis, we have taken velocity, and over the x-axis, we have taken time. So, what we are observing, with change in velocity, how much velocity changes in how much time? The ratio is change in velocity in per unit time. This physical quantity, that is change in velocity along y-axis, that is change in physical quantity along y-axis, and what is the physical quantity along x-axis? Time. So delta y upon delta x, this is called slope. Delta means change. Beta delta means क्या होता है बेटा? Change.
Change.
Change in physical quantity along y-axis upon change in physical quantity along x-axis. So here in this graph, change in physical quantity along y-axis is change in velocity. And along the x-axis, what is changing takes place? Time, change in time. Now see here. What is the change in velocity? Tell me. Time changes from 0 to t. So final time minus initial time. Velocity, final velocity minus initial velocity. This ratio is called acceleration. And what we can write? Beta, tell me what is the initial time? What is the initial time? 0. What is the final time? T. Now tell me, at time 0, where is the graph? Where is the graph at 0 time? U. At time 0, initial velocity is U. Now tell me, at time t, the graph reaches here. At time t, graph reaches at this point. At this point, what is the velocity? V. Final velocity V. So V minus U upon T minus 0. What is T minus 0? Better tell me.
T.
Yes. V minus U. T minus 0. T. Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
Equation for acceleration.
Yes, sir.
Again, if you see here, better see here, further you move down, we can write time is in denominator. When we'll go this side, it will, what we will write?
A into
T. A T. What is this side? Right side, V minus U. Beta, A T is equals to V minus U. Minus sign, U come this side, it will be plus or minus?
Plus. Sir, plus होगा.
Yes, beta. So V is equals to U plus AT. This is known as first equation of motion. This is known as first equation of motion. Now see here all of you once again. If the body is moving with uniform acceleration, that is velocity time graph is a straight line. At time 0, what is the initial velocity? U, and the velocity increases with the constant rate. And at time t, the velocity becomes v. Now, the total time of journey is 0 to t, that is t minus 0 is t. What is total time of journey t? During this time interval, what is the average speed of the body? V plus u by 2. So see here, beta, in place of v from equation 1, what we can write u plus at plus u divided by 2. Beta, see here, t come this side, u gets what? S. Now tell me, see here, t come this side, it will get multiplied. In place of v, we have written u plus it. U plus u, tell me. U plus u.
U square.
Power.
2u plus at into t divided by 2 is equals to s. Now see here, beta. 2u into t. 2u into t. 2ut plus 80 into t. We're gonna see here, this is in bracket. So this will multiply with this and this. 2u into t. 2ut. 80 into t. A t square upon 2. Upon 2 is equals to s. Yes, tell me, have you understood this one?
सर मेरे को समझ आ रहा है.
Now see here, all of you. 2 upon 2 get cancel out ut. 1 by 2 at square. So what is the formula for distance moved? We have derived the formula for distance moved as s is equal to 2 to cancel out ut plus upon 2 half at square. Half at square. S is equals to ut plus half at square. All of you note down. This is the formula for second equation of motion. This is the what? This equation is known as the second equation of motion. This equation is known as second equation of motion. Yes, all of you note. But once again, you see what is the formula of distance moved by the body. This is the product of average speed into time. But what is the initial speed? U. What is the final speed? V. Since the motion is a uniformly accelerated motion, velocity time graph is a straight line. So we can say that velocity increases with a constant rate. But wherever velocity changes with a uniform rate, how we can determine the average speed? Initial speed, initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2, that is the average speed into time. But from equation 1, in place of t, we write v minus u upon a. You put this here. Now, putting the value of in equation 1, ever let this be no, this be the third dash in equation third dash. V plus u by 2. What is the value of t? V minus u upon a. But anybody can tell me a plus b into a minus b. V minus u into v plus u. A square minus b square. Similarly, v square minus u square.
B square minus B square.
2a is equals to s. Now you see here, 2a comes this side. It will be get multiplied. V square minus u square. Minus sign goes this side. It will be get plus. 2as is equals to b square, and this is known as third equation of motion. V square is equal to u square plus 2as. This is known as the third equation of motion. This is known as third equation of motion.